Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rose Wright and I write and narrate Miraculous Ladybug fan fiction. Thank you to Cat Saturn for the use of their beautiful artwork. Their info will be linked below. If you've missed the previous two parts, I will have that linked below as well. Now then, please enjoy Fashion Forward, Part 3. Adrian Agreste, 26 years old, New York. Adrian Agreste practiced the art of business in preparation for when he finally took over Agreste Apparel someday. He worked diligently every day because he loved his father. Also, that's what was expected of him. The young Agreste always did a great job, though. Through his modeling career, he was able to make important connections that benefit the brand. Modeling was another thing his heart wasn't 100% invested in. He liked it, sure. But he wanted to... well, he wasn't sure. Modeling being the only thing he'd ever done, he was lacking in the life experience department. He traveled all the time and met extraordinary and extravagant people. He couldn't begin to name all of the A-list celebrities he'd met, but he felt unfulfilled somehow. He sat, drumming his fingers on his desk, staring at the white-tiled ceiling. His entire office was decorated in a simplistic white minimalist style. He didn't mind it too much. He gradually began to bring in live plants and succulents to make it feel more like home. He spent much more time in that small office than he did in his own house anyways. So much so that he didn't have many actual friends his age. Most models he worked with are mainly interested in clout and use photo shoots as a networking opportunity, but he wouldn't consider them friends. He had procrastinated long enough. As Adrian stood, his father appeared in his doorway, which was strange. Usually his father would send an assistant or something. Even as an adult, Adrian was still intimidated by his father. Adrian was tall, but his father towered over him. He couldn't remember the last time he'd seen his father crack a smile. Probably not since his mother passed away 10 years ago. Was he in trouble? He hadn't actually done anything since he came in that morning, so it's likely. "Adrian, are you busy?" Gabriel Agreste's arms were behind his back as he sounded like he was talking to any employee, not his son. Adrian bowed slightly. He was used to these formal exchanges, unfortunately. "No, sir. I just wrapped up, actually." Okay, so that was a little white lie. "I guess DMing Marinette on Instagram doesn't constitute work, but she is a business partner now," he thought sarcastically. "Good. I have a car waiting for you outside and your bags are packed. I wanted to see you off." Gabriel removed his glasses, rubbing the bridge of his nose. Adrian's eyes widened. His response didn't come automatically. "Bags? Where am I going?" He felt like he should know, but he didn't. He had checked the bulletin board for notices, but he hadn't seen anything, and his father clearly never mentioned it. The fashion designer's brows furrowed in confusion, then disappointment. "Son, when's the last time you checked your company email?" He shook his head, then placed the small silver bifocals back on his face. Oops. No, he hadn't checked it in a few weeks. Sometimes he modeled, and sometimes he kept the company on track, so it must have slipped his mind. "Oh, I'm sorry, sir." He braced himself for a tongue lashing from his father, but it never came. Gabriel's steel blue eyes peered down at Adrian. "I don't want your apologies. I want you to be better, and don't mess this up." "Yes, sir. Of course, sir." Adrian slid into the expensive luxury car, being wary of the seats. As his bodyguard drove him in familiar silence, Adrian finally checked his email, and there it was. An email addressed to him that presumably got sent out to the entire Agreste Apparel team. "Attention, Adrian Agreste. Co-executive Adrian Agreste will be traveling to Paris, France on October 8th, 2021 to visit our new business partner, Marinette Dupain-Cheng." The rest of the email laid out the itinerary. He felt foolish for not having seen it. "Wait," he thought suddenly. "Does Marinette know I'm coming?" Before he had time to think about it more, he was ushered into Newark Airport. He went through the motions of security, handing over his passport and ID, bag checks, the whole 9 yards. He found a seat towards the front of the plane in first class, thanks to his father, and now he could relax. Adrian reclined his seat, then remembered. Oh, Marinette! Before takeoff, he had time to grab his phone and open Instagram. He had so many unread messages even since he last checked his inbox an hour ago. He swiped down until he saw Marinette's username. Hey Marinette, I want to let you know that I'm actually on my way to Paris. I'm so sorry this is last minute. It is to me too. Well, it wouldn't have been if I had checked my email. Anyway, my flight should land in 7 hours. I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for listening. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe. That would be amazing. As always, stay miraculous.